All right, welcome back to Sports Talk with Tall and Small. We're going to jump right back into it. I want to talk about a big news story going on in college football this week. Arkansas head coach Bobby Petrino got into a motorcycle accident. Some things came out about that, and it has ultimately led to his firing from University of Arkansas. What are your thoughts?
We've had a lot of problem with college sports this year. With the whole Sandusky, Bernie fine, and now this, a lot of scandal. It's just disappointing for, to have this happen. Bobby Petrino, I've always thought of as a good coach. I mean, there's been speculation about, things that he's done prior, how he left the Falcons, stuff like that. So he's never been viewed in the highest light. But, you don't expect something like this to happen. Just that the girl's 25. His mistress, 25 years old,
there's
hired.
There's also talk about favoritism in the workplace.
Yeah, so I mean, this is just not. I think there was 160 applicants, something rough, for the job that she had. He picks her out of 160.
Yeah.
She's a former Arkansas volleyball player. He gave her $20,000 during it. It's just nothing good.
This thing just stunk from the beginning, and the stench just kept getting worse.
Yeah.
And, he absolutely deserved to get fired. I mean,
absolutely.
This was terrible publicity for the university. I mean, there's not really much you can say about this, but it's bad because. Again, you mentioned that there's been so much scandal in college sports recently. There continues to be all rule violations of players taking money, and it just when are we ever going to see college sports get clean? And it just appears like it's never going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a famous quote. I forget who exactly it's from, but it came out a year ago or so. For football, D1 football, if you're not cheating, then you're not anywhere near the top. That's obviously not the exact quote. Don't quote me on that.
Paraphrasing.
Yes, paraphrasing. But there's. I mean, I'm not saying this is cheating, but because it's not really. Yeah. It's just
it's just more scandal.
Yeah.
More.
And I mean, it's just stuff that
more bad publicity.
Completely not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to hire her for this job. If she was just his mistress, he wouldn't be fired. Obviously it's shunned upon by society,
right?
But that's something that's his personal decision.
He may have resigned, but I don't think the school would have fired him.
Yeah, it's his personal decision.
He got fired with cause.
Yes, because I mean, you can't do this. You can't favor someone in, especially if there's 4 people applying for the job, maybe it's a little different story. 150, 160 people, and you pick this one out. You give her $20,000. It's just bad news from there on out. And then you lied to the university. You lied to the university. It would have been a lot different story if he said, there was a girl in the back of the motorcycle. All this stuff still would have probably come out about him hiring her out of 160 applicants.
Right, and it may have been different if he was able to, if he told the university outright, this is everything that happened, this is all the information, because then they could have gotten out in front of this thing. Instead, they just stood there as the train just ran over them instead of being able to drive.
That just makes the university look terrible.
Exactly.
So they have to wipe that out and try to start anew. But it's really disappointing because Arkansas has been a great program the past couple of years, and it's never good to see a program that's been so strong kind of take a downfall like this, just like Penn State. I mean, Penn State's one of the staples of college football, and now they're just just another name when it comes to just purely football.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Arkansas is going to have. I don't think it's going to be the same for Arkansas as it is for Penn State. Yeah. The whole Penn State thing is just
that's a whole nother level. Let's
debacle.
Yeah, let's separate the two a little.
So I mean, this is something that has been dealt with before. There's precedent for this. Arkansas will get through this. They'll be fine. Just gotta get a new coach, really, at the end of the day. And I could see Bobby Petrino's college football coaching career be done for a couple of years at least.
Yeah, I think he's got to take a break, let the news settle, let the whole rumble settle a little, much like Jim Tressel. Don't come back into college football for a couple of years. I know Jim Tressel is not allowed to come back for 4 more years, I believe. But he just needs to let it die out a little, and then he can come back. I mean, he's proven that he's a great football coach. Arkansas has been a contender. They were in the Cotton Bowl, Sugar Bowl, one of the two. Last couple in the past, was that last year? Yes, last year. It's the same thing. Same thing as Tressel. You need to let it die down a little. But there's no doubt that he's a great football coach. He just made a couple bad decisions.
All right, now before we head into our final break for the big finish, I just want to ask one question. We see all the players now leaving Kentucky, all their star players. How do they look for next year?
I think Kentucky's reloading. We'll talk a little bit more about Nerlens Noel coming to Kentucky last night, but Calipari just reloads this team year in, year out. We had last show off, so we didn't talk about Kentucky winning the national championship, but they did, obviously. But they're reloading for next year already. This is just, a talent. It kind of just flips over year to year.
All right, now we're going to head to one final break, and when we come back, we'll have the big finish. Stay tuned.
And now, back to Sports Talk with Tall and Small.
We go to the big finish. Let's do it.
All right, Artie, first question. Who will be the better college basketball player, Shabazz Muhammad or Nerlens Noel?
I think Nerlens Noel is. He's a year younger, but I still think he's got that height. He's basically Anthony Davis all over again for Kentucky. I think he'll be very good. Shabazz Muhammad, great player as well, going to UCLA, but I think Noel is going to be the better college basketball player next year. Would you be excited about the Falcons on Hard Knocks?
I mean, look, it's not the worst pick. I like Mike Smith. I like Matt Ryan, Michael Turner, Roddy White, Julio Jones, Tony Gonzalez. They got some personalities, but I got to tell you, I wanted to see my New York Jets again. Rex Ryan, just all those guys. That would have been so much better. But obviously the news lately is that Rex said no. Rex didn't want it, even though Woody does. So I'm a little disappointed there, but I'll be fine with the Falcons. I'll still watch and still enjoy it. Should players be compensated for playing in the Olympics?
Not at all. This is, the Olympics is something that you do for your country. You can't expect your country to pay you for it. It's just something that you do for the love of the game and for the love of the country. Show some national pride. So I don't think players should be compensated, even though I do understand the amount of commitment that it is. But the reward of being at the Olympics and representing your country is enough for me. So yeah. Should Shea Weber have been fined for Zetterberg's hit?
Absolutely. That was disgusting. I mean, playoffs especially, you had a little bit more people watching it. That's not something you want to see in the game of hockey. I could understand, adrenaline's rushing in the playoffs, but, I mean, that's just stupid. It's one thing to check a guy against the boards legally, but to take a guy's head in your hand and shove it against the wall, he deserved to be fined. He should have been penalized during the game, but he wasn't. Good. It was a good thing he got fined, and it's bad for the sport. I'm glad they fined him. Should the Mavs have to pay Lamar Odom for the rest of the season?
No, they shouldn't, but that's the stuff. That's how it's going to work out. It's a contract. That he doesn't deserve a penny, but he's going to get a couple pennies. A few million. Yeah. Yes, I have to go with that they shouldn't pay him, but he's going to get paid. What does Amari Stoudemire's return mean for the Knicks? Sorry.
Let's go. Larry O'Brien Trophy. Let's go.
Okay. That's it for Sports Talk with Tall and Small. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Until then, have a great week, and we'll be back